I only work 6 months out of the year. The rest of the time, I'm spending my time in places traveling where my money goes much further than somewhere in the West. And let me explain how I do that. So, this all started about 2 years ago when a buddy of mine told me that he had received a position where he was going to be working on site somewhere in Alaska. And at first, I thought that maybe that was a little crazy. I thought, you think like everybody else that you need a regular job, you need to stay put somewhere. That's the best way to save money. You get your 10 or 14 days out of the year, you go travel that way, you vacation, and then you just work for a company for 30, 40 years, and then you retire. But I realized that the more that he talked about the benefits, what he gets to do, the more that I realize that this is an avenue that is maybe not as discovered or as well known as certain jobs. Now, if you can work remote or you can make money online, by all means, that is still the best way to work, to make money, to live abroad, or to travel and be happy. That is the best way. But this is a different avenue that maybe some people don't know about, or maybe they want to try for one, maybe 2 seasons, or they save money, or this is something that they enjoy to do while they're younger. They get to spend half the year abroad, and I think that is very tempting for a lot of people because right now, with the way that America and the West is and how expensive things are, I think people are looking for different ways to be happy or to make money, and I think this is a very good one. So let me explain a little bit further. So, in terms of the situation that I'm in right now, my current position, um, I am contracted to work 6 months. It's a seasonal position. So there is housing that is provided for us, but we do pay for the housing. But the housing is only $500 a month. Now, places in Florida, I don't know, but where everybody else is from, but where I come from in Florida, most one bedroom apartments are starting at bare minimum $1,000 to $1,200 a month. So that's already cutting um, half of the money that you would be paying for a regular apartment, and let alone a vehicle. I don't have a vehicle, so everything is within walking distance for me, a grocery store and things like that. And I know that while I'm working here or while I'm here, it's a little more remote, so I don't have a lot of things to spend my money on, and if I just focus on making money and working, or maybe even working two jobs while I'm up here, I can save 10, 15, $20,000 before I leave here in 6 months. And I can take that money and go to a place like Southeast Asia where my money goes much, much further than here in America. And I can live there for the better part of 6 months. And I'm not talking about, barely getting by, eating street food every day. I'm talking about you can have a very, very solid, comfortable life half the year. And I think for a lot of people, that is very tempting. I think, at least for me, where the position I'm in before I can start making money online or working remote, you know, this is an avenue for me where I have more time out of the year to go spend with people that I care about or going to see new things and new experiences. So I think this is something that you should really look into. There are a lot of seasonal positions and a lot of websites you can look at that offer housing for people. And these positions, they pay pretty decently if you can get in good, places or good companies. And like I said, I only pay $500 a month between my rent and my groceries. Everything is much cheaper here, so I get to save money, and I basically just I lock in. I'm working for this 6 months. I'm not really spending money. I'm hunkered down. I'm focused on working. But then once I leave here at the end of September, I'll have all this money that I've saved up, and then I can spend, like low season in certain places. So that's even cheaper. And then, I won't even spend all the money while I'm over there. And basically, when it comes time again to come work in the summer, I can come back with the money that I have saved and then keep saving money. And it just slowly builds and slowly, can compound. And I know someone that works Basically, he works somewhere else. We worked with him last year. He works 7 months out of the year, and the other 5 months he travels. But he basically collects, a unemployment check basically between the time now and then when he comes back to Alaska, and he basically doesn't even lose money. He barely spends any money when he's abroad because the money that he makes it basically supplements the money that he would be losing. And I think this is a very I think if you want to do this for a couple seasons, or if you want to do it for, multiple seasons, I've known people that have been doing it for, I met a couple people last year that did it for, they've done it for 10, 15 years. And I think that's amazing. And places like, this is Alaska, but there's places like Seattle, there's places in Florida, there's places in Colorado, and you don't have to work a summer job. They have winter positions as well. So if you wanted to work the winter time and then the summertime you wanted to go to a foreign country or go and live abroad, that's even better. And I've thought about doing that as well. So you have a lot of options in terms of what you can do. And, it might seem hard to hunker down for 6 months or things like that. But I mean, what what would you rather do? Would you rather work 30, 40 years and then retire at 60 or 65, and then maybe have a couple good years if you can handle it, if your body can handle it? But or would you rather maybe work 6 months out of the year, rest the other 6 months? Your stress level is much lower, you're much happier. And I know it's hard, coming back, but then you have things to, you're motivated to work harder while you're here. Like my first year, I didn't, save as much money as I wanted to, or, work as hard as I wanted to. But there's a lot of options. If you're very dedicated, you can save up a lot of money here, and they have a lot of people that come from abroad to come work here, while they're in school. So you get a lot of opportunities to meet different people from different cultures and different countries, and I think it's just a great way to live your life. So if you've ever been interested in it, there are plenty of websites to look for seasonal positions, and hopefully I get to see some people. Maybe they can tell me about their stories working seasonal positions. I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm really grateful that I can do something like this. And the amount of work that I do is not much comparatively to some people where they're making less money than me. So I'm very happy. I'm going to lock in for 6 months, and then it's back to Southeast Asia for me. It's back to Thailand. It's back to where I'm happy. And I know at the end of the day that what I'm doing now gets me to the place that I want to be. And eventually I will be fully remote, living abroad, being happy. So, guys, if you ever thought about this or have never heard of it, let me know. I can give you some more information about it. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.